It is the coldest place on Earth. A high plateau of white, scoured by winds, where the temperature once fell to -89 degrees Celsius. Beneath the boots of the few humans who stand here lies nearly 4 kilometers of solid ice. And beneath that ice, sealed away from sunlight for millions of years, lies a lake the size of Lake Ontario. Its name is Lake Vostok. It is the largest of nearly 400 subglacial lakes hidden under the Antarctic ice sheet. For most of human history, no one suspected it existed. The story of how it was found and how it was reached is a story of cold, patience, and rivalry that stretches across half a century. The story begins in 1957, the International Geophysical Year. The Soviet Union establishes a remote inland research station deep in East Antarctica. They name it Vostok, the Russian word for east. It sits more than 1,000 kilometers from the nearest coast, at an elevation of 3,500 meters, on what may be the most hostile inhabited spot on the planet. Russian scientists at Vostok endure months of darkness and brutal cold, but the station's true purpose, in time, becomes the ice itself. Beginning in the 1970s, Soviet engineers start to drill. They want a core of ancient ice, a frozen record of Earth's atmosphere reaching back hundreds of thousands of years. The drilling is painfully slow. Year after year, season after season, the bit descends only a few hundred meters. To keep the borehole from collapsing under the pressure of the ice, the Soviets fill it with kerosene and freon. It is a practical solution, and a fateful one, because it leaves the hole filled with 60 tons of industrial fluid. Meanwhile, a British geographer named Gordon Robin is studying radar echoes from beneath the ice. In the 1970s, flights across the Antarctic interior reveal something strange near Vostok Station. The radar shows a flat, mirror-smooth reflector deep below the surface. It looks impossibly like water. For 2 decades, the finding sits half forgotten. Then, in 1993, satellite altimetry from the European ERS-1 mission maps the surface of the ice sheet with new precision. A Russian researcher, Andrei Kapitsa, brings the pieces together. The reflector under Vostok is not a small pocket. It is a vast lake, 250 kilometers long, hidden under nearly 4 kilometers of ice. The announcement, made in the journal Nature in 1996, electrifies the scientific world. Lake Vostok has been sealed off from the atmosphere for perhaps 15 million years. Its waters may host microbes that have evolved in total isolation. And its dark, pressurized depths offer the closest analogue, on Earth, to the hidden oceans of Europa and Enceladus. Suddenly, the Russian drill, already more than 3 kilometers deep, is no longer just a climate project. It is pointed at a pristine alien ecosystem, and it is filled with kerosene. The international community reacts with alarm. To puncture the lake with a column of contaminated fluid would be a scientific catastrophe. In 1998, under pressure from the Antarctic Treaty Nations, the Russians halt drilling. The bit rests in the ice at 3,623 meters, just 130 meters above the surface of the lake. For more than a decade, the borehole waits. The race to Vostok pauses, but it does not end. Other nations now look at their own subglacial lakes. The British plan an expedition to Lake Ellsworth in West Antarctica, using hot water to melt a clean shaft through the ice. The Americans target Lake Whillans, a shallower lake beneath a flowing ice stream. The competition becomes a quiet contest of method and philosophy. The Russians, meanwhile, refine a plan to finish what they started. Engineers at the St. Petersburg Mining Institute design a new approach. As the drill nears the lake, the pressure of the water below will be greater than the pressure of the fluid above. When the bit breaks through, lake water will rush upward into the borehole, freezing into a clean plug. Critics call the scheme reckless. 60 tons of kerosene still fill the hole. Environmental groups protest. But the Russians argue, with the calm confidence of engineers, that the physics will hold. In 2006, the drilling resumes. Each summer season, the team has only a few short months before winter shuts the station down. Progress is measured in meters. In 2011, the drill reaches 3,720 meters, tantalizingly close. But the Antarctic winter closes in, and the team is forced to evacuate. The lake will have to wait another year. The world watches, half anxious, half impatient. The team returns in late 2011. They drill through the southern summer, racing the calendar. On the 5th of February 2012, at a depth of 3,769 meters, the bit finally breaks through. Lake water surges upward into the borehole, exactly as predicted. After more than 3 decades, humans have touched Lake Vostok. The news travels around the world within hours. Russian officials compare the achievement to landing on the moon. American and British colleagues offer cautious congratulations and pointed questions. What exactly has been sampled? And what, if anything, has been contaminated? The following season, the Russians retrieve the frozen plug of refrozen lake water. Analysis in laboratories at St. Petersburg reports unusual bacterial DNA. One sequence appears to be unknown to science. Other researchers are skeptical, suggesting the signal may come from drilling fluid or laboratory contamination. The debate over what lives in Vostok continues to this day. Within 2 years, the Americans reach Lake Whillans using a sterile hot water drill. They recover clean samples and confirm a living microbial community beneath the ice. The British attempt at Lake Ellsworth, however, fails when equipment malfunctions in the brutal cold. The race produces winners, losers, and a new generation of subglacial science. Lake Vostok itself remains largely a mystery. Its waters, oxygen-rich and crushed under enormous pressure, may harbour life forms unlike any on the surface. They may also reveal how organisms could survive on the icy moons of Jupiter and Saturn. Every season, a few more meters of core are drilled, a few more questions asked. And so the high plateau endures, swept by the same winds that greeted the first Soviet expedition in 1957. Beneath it, the dark water waits, as it has waited for 15 million years. Humans have reached down through 2 miles of ice and brushed its surface with a borehole the width of a hand. The lake, for the moment, keeps most of its secrets.